still standing? Wow, this thing sucks.
Creating a machinima is hard, especially in a live online environment. Anything can go wrong and will go wrong.
I could actually, hold on, well...
Or you could just turn...
I could... You're getting attacked.
I'm being mauled.
You're getting attacked.
I'm being mauled. I'm dead.
So how do we manage to make it all come together? Proper planning, a little editing magic, and an unhealthy persistence to keep retrying a scene over and over.
I landed on the boxes.
Just yourself.
Okay. Damn.
And over and over. You know that dopamine hit when you find some pure Karenite? I get that same feeling when everything is in place, the lighting is right, and we finally get the shot.
Are you serious?
My name is Fatbird, and I'm a professional editor, director, and Pyro's resident psychotic salesman.
This might just be our new home for a bit.
Welcome to the second behind-the-scenes episode of Spirit Breaker 2.
Did you think we wouldn't see all your little advertisements?
If you're new here, feel free to check out the first BTS video and, of course, the Spirit Breaker series as well.
Just roll the montage.
In this episode, I'm going to show you two things. How Star Citizen's scale and sandbox environment creates unique and often frustrating challenges. You'll see how we manage those challenges, as well as give you a shot-by-shot breakdown of what made certain scenes come together. While I could go over every scene in Spirit Breaker 2,
You've got to the count of 10.
there's one area I wanted to focus on. The intro at Cutter's Rig. And there's one very particular reason why. Lighting. But there's a bit of a problem. Something like the CSV stunt took a numerous amount of tries to get right, but we had time on our side with the sunlight. Daytime on Microtech, and specifically at New Babbage, it's about 2.5 hours. That's a solid amount of time to set up, film, and repeat the process until daylight ends. So what about Cutter's Rig? Daytime is a little over an hour, but the nighttime where most of this took place? 30 minutes. That's a full session in Arc Raiders, a decent game of Battlefield. But in Star Citizen, you all know just as much as me that time is built different when playing Star Citizen. 30 minutes is just enough time to leave a station, reach a location, realize I forgot something, and then explode for no reason. Yeah, I'll just meet you at Everest. I figured that you could just dump your outfit in the back of the C1, but I guess I'll just go up there real quick. I died? Okay.
Well, that's the express trip.
Aim down and look up. Having a whole film shoot go correctly with no interruptions or accidents in that time span? Not a chance. Is this you? Oh, he's gonna ram the C1. God damn.
Oh no.
I'm trying to hide.
Yep.
Yeah, he's coming.
Okay, let's back up for a second. Nighttime is certainly not 30 minutes at Lorville. Why is it only 30 minutes at Cutter's Rig? Because of how far north it is. Hurston has a relatively extreme axial tilt, so the North Pole is always tilted towards the sun. Which means the further north a location, the longer the daytime and the shorter the nighttime. So this short time span at Cutter's Rig required us to film the scene over the course of numerous sessions. It also required us to set up and prepare long before each nightfall. In my experience, hurry up and wait is an integral part of the filmmaking process. That meant killing a little time here and there.
Here we go.
Go!
Nope.
Wait, the bike might make it.
The bike might make it.
Wait.
The bike made it.
It.
So why didn't I just make my life easier and film it during the day? Hello? Because it looked fucking cool, and I'm not a quitter. And for some insane reason, neither is my entire crew.
I completely f***ing regret this.
But seriously, besides it looking cool, there was a lot more reasons that made it worthwhile. And what brought me to those reasons and how to tackle everything was through a process called shot and scene blocking. What is this so-called blocking? It's a method that encompasses a bunch of important elements. From planning and rehearsing things like character movement, camera placement, lighting, and composition, to more specific nuances like how subjects will transition between scenes, where you want your audience to focus, and what feeling you want to convey. Most importantly, what can actually be executed. Remember, in 30 fucking minutes. So, we'll start with the most important scene first, the standoff. I knew I wanted this Wes Anderson-inspired symmetry, but it took some iterations to arrive at this point. This is when we started to scout out exactly where we'd place the characters, the composition, and the lighting. The first initial idea was to use the bridge. This was okay, but a little visually messy. On top of that, it didn't create a logical flow of how we'd end up in that position. Where's my character coming from? Where is Stonewall coming from? Where's Turnkey? To solve that, I decided to push it back to the office. Here's the evolution of this moment. I like the foreground, but the characters get lost in the background. Now, near the door gives my character some nice backlight, but it still seems a bit mushy overall. Flipping the camera around is huge. This framing also benefits us in two ways. It creates a sense of scale for the characters in the frame, conveys a feeling of entrapment, and also becomes a good master shot for the Redeemer collision. At this point, we actually haven't tested the collision yet, so we had to make sure it was viable before refining. Shockingly, it worked. Physics are unpredictable, but shot blocking the scene gave us some fail-safes. The Redeemer plausibly survived the collision on a few test runs, but not always. This framing reduced our chances of seeing the Redeemer explode since it was obscured by the building and mostly off-screen. Now that we've got the execution down, we can refine the details. I'm a little bit more front lit and you're just fully in like the darkness looking all creepy.
Oh, that's true.
Kind of thematic. Composition, flow, motive, and execution all come together when approached methodically for our final shot. One. Alright, couch, look at me. Holy shit, look over. Holy f***. There's the wow factor.
Jesus Christ.
That was so fast.
We both died. Yeah.
All that planning paid off. The first real take we captured was actually the one used in the final video. With that basically locked in, the next step was to visually build out the rest of the script to make sense of this moment. So what do I mean? While this Western-style standoff is certainly cool, it can feel a little contrived without the right context.
Don't get cute with me.
At the time, the script had a slightly blank canvas on the choreography. Turnkey and I spot a ship while outside, we panic and hide, the ship lands, and Stonewall confronts us. Instead of us starting outside, it felt more natural to start inside. Then another question came up. Is Stonewall just gonna land all the way on the other side of the rig, walk his ass to the middle, up the ramp, and then across the bridge?
I'm gonna walk forward menacingly.
It's just another guy behind you.
Also, how will the mantis transition to its intended position? It all just felt a bit awkward and stupid. Suddenly, I had an idea.
That my cue.
Yeah, go,
Sure.
go for it.
I landed on boxes again.
Alright, so forwards from that,
It
probably
throws me too
about-
far forward.
We started testing how this could work.
Nope. I just
No hand.
land straight.
Gotta go a lot higher, I guess. Okay, I could kind of work with that. Did you die? Hey, you didn't die.
Nope.
Dropping?
Nice.
We eventually figured out the sweet spot between triggering the animation and not dying. Unfortunately, the wide shot of the drop just looked a little... Yeah, that looks terrible. That looks awful. Which was not a huge deal. The alternate shots would give the context the audience needed. Everything started to fall into place, no pun intended. We worked further backwards to figure out how the mantis would arrive at that spot, drop Stonewall off, and then get into its final position. This all felt pretty solid, but we still needed to sort out the transition from the Redeemer collision to the title reveal. This is where the grenade launcher idea came in. Alright, go. Okay.
Did I miss?
Yes.
Aim. What?
Rocket, you're fired.
You shot to the right.
There's no guy to aim this thing, so I'm aiming at the crossset and
Don't worry, Rocket wasn't fired. It was, of course, everyone's favorite, desync. I wonder if there is something weird. Yeah, it does go through you.
it's wild.
Alright, you gotta stand outside the door then.
Call it.
Then we needed to make him look more progressively concussed.
I need someone to give me like a tier 2 or tier 1 injury.
Tier 2. There we go.
All right, am I limping?
Yep.
You want to top up again?
Yeah, top up. 1.
All right, coming to heal.
Yep. Hit me real quick. All right, hang on. Let me get a different camera angle.
3, 2, 1.
Next, stumbling off the platform into the title screen.
Why did it do
That was perfect.
it like flung you.
Naturally, it took a few retakes. Ironically, throwing a weapon was a bigger pain in the ass than colliding 2 ships. We went through a few iterations of character and camera placement while rehearsing the animation.
Nice.
The final dialogue scene was more straightforward, but there's something important I wanted to touch on that I saved for the end. This is the more nerdy filmmaking stuff, so if you've made it this far, congrats, you're a nerd like me.
Where are you going?
Keeping your audience spatially oriented is an important part of visual storytelling and the shot blocking process. The way I tackled this is with something called the 180-degree rule. This final dialogue is the perfect example. A line is drawn through our subjects, called the axis of action. From there, we decide what side of the line to keep all of our camera angles on within a 180-degree arc. Stepping over that line can be jarring and confusing to the audience. This rule might feel limiting, but limitation breeds creativity. Working within these boundaries can force you to get creative on how to compose your alternate shots. Even though it's mostly useful in dialogue scenes, I still used it to establish space for other sequences. With that said, I don't always rigidly follow that rule, either because I had to make a choice on if it was worth breaking to show the audience something, or there was a more meaningful reason. For example, we cross this line after the mantis explodes. In breaking that rule here, we suddenly reorient the audience to a new perspective. We've jumped over the obstacle to represent this release of tension and pivot in the story. It may sound cliche, but we learn the rules to break the rules. And all these artistic decisions, deliberate or not, allow the camera itself to become a character in the story.
Wait a minute.
What's the ultimate takeaway here? That there's a lot of thought put into the creation of these videos. Taking a script and turning it into a visual medium becomes a balance of artistic direction and practical execution. There's something special about Star Citizen in that regard. Whether it's a blessing or a curse, the sandbox nature of the game lends itself to some parallels of real film production. Working with a day-night cycle, compartmentalizing scenes into non-chronological shoot days, dealing with interruptions.
Bridge coming close.
Maybe it's overkill, but personally, overcoming these challenges is part of the fun. Even if I want to tear my hair
Stupid
out.
fucking hit my camera. Are you kidding?
But that's just my passion bleeding through, right? There's so much more I'd love to talk about. From motivated camera movement, exposition, editing techniques, and so on, but we'll save that for another video. So whether you've never made a machinima before, or if you've made a feature-length film, I hope seeing my process inspired you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.